I'm holding the mic, so I apologize if any of this gets too loud at any point. I just wanted my own thoughts and views recorded at a decent volume, and I didn't want to have to adjust the sound setting while I was doing the editing process. But anyway, I am ConMan21, part of Pros and ConMan21, but I am holding the mic a little closer than we're used to shooting or recording our other episodes that we have done so far. Pros has released her views about the 2016 presidential election, and so I thought that I would give my own input on the matter now that I have had some time to process what has been happening. And if at any point, if I get emotional or anything, I apologize for that. You know what? No, I'm not going to apologize for that, because I should be allowed to have an emotional response to something that will affect us for the next 4 years. Sorry, not sorry. Okay, so the night of the election, you know what? The day of the election, when it came around, I woke up that morning. I was feeling good. I went to my local election place. I don't know. I went to the place where I'm supposed to vote, and I got that out of the way right away in the morning before I had to go to work, because I didn't want anything to hinder me later. I went about my day as normal after doing the whole voting process, and I told myself that I would not become that person who is watching the electoral votes come in. Like, I didn't want to get upset and worked up over nothing. And yet, somehow, I found myself that night in bed until practically 2:30 in the morning, doing exactly what I did not want to do. A lot of people from the social circles that I'm in, even Facebook, Twitter, everything, people were posting so much about what was happening, so it was really hard to block it out. Being on the internet is part of my nightly routine. Like, I just do stuff until I get tired. There were so many emotions. There was a lot of surprise throughout the night about how Donald Trump had this huge lead. You know, people were posting about, he said this, he's done this, like Mike Pence has said this and done this, how can people vote for him? And that people were pretty much letting their true colors show by how they voted, given that Donald Trump's platform was clearly a platform of hate. That is why I could not vote for that man. I'm not ashamed to say that I voted for Hillary Clinton. I know that she wasn't perfect either, but I wanted a president who would not spread fear and anger into a world that already has so much hate and anger in it. And when I went to bed, it was 3:30 in the morning, because I just couldn't get to sleep. And luckily I had that day off. And that next day, I just felt completely numb. I didn't know what to think. Here's this man who has made disparaging remarks about handicapped individuals, has degraded women, has boasted about sexual assault, is clearly against the LGBT community. The list goes on. These are just the ones that I can remember from the top of my head before we could even start voting. And yet, I don't want to say half of the country, because half of the country didn't vote, but pretty much a quarter of the country stood up that day and said, we are okay with this behavior in our country. And I want to know, how is that okay? Because I went to work on the following Thursday, and after reading all of these stories from people across the country about how they were attacked, or, people made horrible comments to them because they were a different skin tone, the issue was clearly started because of race, and saying things like Donald Trump's going to make sure that you can't be here anymore. And it was terrifying to read all this. That day I went to work, and our local newspaper had released who had won in our county, in our city, and it was Donald Trump. And I live in a rural city, pretty much. The majority is Caucasian. We do have diversity here, but a lot of the people that come in are usually just through college. So this is a very white city. It's Minnesota. What do you expect? But I found myself bracing for a confrontation. At my job, I'm the person who hands out the food to whoever has ordered. And it's terrible to feel this way. I'm Hispanic and I'm definitely tan. You can tell that I have Hispanic Latino background, and I was just so ready for someone to say something, and it was such a weird feeling because I've never been like that before. It was also terrifying because what if the person that said something and I responded, that could have escalated really, really fast. And I worked with all of these international students at my full-time job. You know, I didn't want them to feel uncomfortable while they were at work, because they shouldn't feel uncomfortable at work. This is where they're coming to work. They're doing a job, and a lot of them do their jobs really well, and like they know that if something happens that they're supposed to come and find me. And like, what if something happened before they were able to find me? So all these things were weighing on my mind because, you know, it's the reality now where I kind of have to worry about who I am and who sees me being myself. I'm 31 years old. I'm not going to go back into the closet, but now I just feel like there has been this fear. So this fear is just very reminiscent of like when I first came out and I was learning to be comfortable with myself in public. I didn't want to have to go back and do that all over again. Like, I know who I am. I'm fine with who I am. So why isn't that enough for everyone else? Like, I'm not going out and disrespecting anyone. I'm just living my life. The reason a lot of these people now have started vocalizing their hate is because we have elected a man who says it is okay to be open about your hate towards others. And you know what? Quite honestly, I don't have time for that bullshit because it's bullshit. I'm not really good about this whole talking about politics, but this isn't a political issue. It is just a morality issue. Like, we should be respecting each other. So personally, I just feel like a lot of people are gonna be reduced to hiding and fearing for their lives. And this is not what we should be doing, especially not in 2016. Like, why are we stepping backwards? We should always progress forward, make things better, not worse. But I guess only time will truly tell if we are made to endure through something like this. And that's all I really have to say right now. And we have to come together, unite, and we will get through this. That is all I have to say on the matter. So if you have any comments or questions, like, these are just my own personal views, and I appreciate you taking the time to listen to them. Thank you.